All right. Hey, folks, you are with us this week to find out how you can make an impact and whether or not the things that you do will make an impact. Here's the story. This week and going forward for the next several weeks, we are going to be talking about MeteorJS Impact, or Meteor Impact, as it's often known, which is a conference that is put on by our friend Storyteller, and we will get to that in a minute. And I noticed that I did not set up the screen correctly, so we're in a side-by-side view, which is fine, but that's not normally how we start this out. Anyway, with that, there is really very, very little in terms of news that we're going to discuss today. We are going to be spending a lot of time talking about impact, and in this case, the road to Impact 2025. And with that, I'm going to go straight into the discussion. But first, this is episode 93 of This Week in MeteorJS, a weekly podcast of the MeteorJS Dispatches, a weekly newscast of this the MeteorJS Dispatches podcast. I can't believe I've done 93 of these now and I'm still messing this up. I'm your host, Alim Gafar, streaming to you live from New York City.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dvorak, aka Storyteller CZ, coming to you live from Prague, Czechia.
That we're going to go right into this discussion. Now, the format that we're going to be using today is a little different than we typically, or we speak to you directly, idiots. And this time, what we're going to do is we are going to conduct this in an interview style. And so, if you will tolerate this, let's get to it. So, Storyteller, Jan, how can MeteorJS developers and business owners make a significant impact this year?
So, as we are talking about impact beside doing awesome apps and new packages, I'm hosting the Meteor Impact conference. It's a conference that's happening online, and as like with any other, let's say, major technical conference, the idea is to bring people together, to kind of announce new things. Look what you can do with Meteor, get inspired, learn how to do certain things, tips and tricks, show and tell. And above, I think everything, what's important in this conference is to meet people. And through that, you can hopefully, or as a side effect to that, you can probably learn how to overcome some of the issues you might be having as well, because more people together, more brains together, they can usually fix your issue or kind of point you in the right direction as well. So, and besides, it's fun.
Yeah. So, Jan, I noticed that in the stream here, there is a screen share. Do we need to do this now, or can we do that a little later?
For later, we can do that. It's fine.
For later, right? So you let me know when to put it up, and I'll get it up there. All right. So great. So people should do what in the meantime? They should sign up to speak or sign up to attend, right?
Yes, we have still both of these options, or all of the options are right now open. So you can sign up to speak, and what you do with that, you send me what talk you want to do, what is it about, what's the approximate duration, and a few other details about the talk and yourself. You can send as many of those as you want, as many talks that you want to commit. And I'll be happy then to kind of talk with you further and negotiate where it's going to be in the schedule and all that stuff. So that's one thing. And we also still have a sign-ups now for the conference itself. We do that through Luma. So, but if you go to impact.meteorjs.community, it's all there. And finally, we're also still looking for sponsors and partners. That's also still open, and hopefully we'll be filling that up soon.
Pretty awesome. So, I mean, we've talked about a little bit about Meteor Impact being a conference. What kind of conference is it? Tell us a little bit more about MeteorJS Impact? Is it MeteorJS Impact or is it Meteor Impact?
That's kind of hard to say. The crucial part is the impact, and then the Meteor or MeteorJS part depends on how you want to do marketing. As you often Alim, the MeteorJS part, so we don't just get space meteor enthusiast. So once we are actually there, we speak Meteor Impact. But if you want to kind of have the marketing purposes, it's MeteorJS Impact. That's kind of the how the craziness with the name. So that's with the name, and it is a online. That's the crucial part. Online conference, all about MeteorJS, MongoDB, React, or any of the other technologies associated with it. That's kind of the limiting factor, or also potentially, any of the companies and or anything kind of that's related to it. That the core is it has to be somehow related to MeteorJS, and then it belongs.
Sure. So let me just add something to this specific question, if you don't mind. So if I decided that I wanted to be able to contribute in a way of doing a talk on CI/CD for Meteor builds, even though the majority of my talk will be about, continuous integration, continuous development, and how you would actually do a setup on that, because it's related in that way, even though it's not MeteorJS specific, it would still apply.
Yes, that's correct. The same thing with different tips and tricks, with React and how, but there needs to be some relation to Meteor. That's the crucial part. And in case of CI/CD with Meteor, I think that would be actually quite a popular talk, because oftentimes the CI/CD thing, if you start from the Meteor, that's what at least for me personally, that would interest me. How do I kind of connect it into the pipelines and everything? So it can be super simple, it can be super difficult. That's what the talk would probably enlighten us about, and that's what we are kind of looking at to have.
Pretty awesome. All right, I'm sorry about that. I was typing responses back into the chat because we have some people with us. I want to say hello to Joni and hello to Kelly. It's good to see you guys there. Can't get to everybody right now, but that's where they are. So you talked about it being a conference. Have you talked about like how it's actually done?
So yes, it will be online. We'll be using this year round. It's a big difference from the past because we no longer have Pathable. We'll be using Big Blue Button, courtesy of Literary Universe. And Big Blue Button, the newest version, sadly, is no longer on Meteor, but they have started on Meteor. And it's a great classroom environment. So it will open up possibilities for really nice interaction between the speaker and the audience, and it has all the other features that you would expect from everything else. Though it might be a bit shaky, so we still have a few tests, just say few test days to try some different things to make sure it will be all stable. Historically, Impact has been 2 days. This year, it will be similar but different. We'll have again 2 days, but it will be shorter, both of them. And the first day is free, or you can donate to the conference. And the second day, what we'll try, if we have enough interest, will be workshops that will be paid. So that will be especially there's going to be only 3 or 4 of them. I will be running one of them, and I'm in talks with other people to determine which other 2 or 3 workshops we'll have. And the idea is that these workshops will go in depth, and we'll specifically focus on answering your questions about one of the particular topics about Meteor or something related to that. So, for example, I will have a general kind of like interaction into Meteor accounts. That will be the free talk I'll have on the first day, and on the second day, I will have a deep dive workshop into Meteor accounts where I'll go over pretty much every method, every setting, and looking really much more detail how to set up accounts properly, securely, and then also extend it with all out to so that you can have all out with your other favorite service that maybe is not there's like not package for that. So I'll kind of teach you how you build your own and all of that.
All right, that's great. I mean, something to look forward to. Now that's going to the future. Let's walk a little bit backwards for the people that have not been part of the community or have not participated in prior Impact events. Can you give us a little background on Impact and how far does it go back and how did it get started? What was the motivation for it? Like, can you give us some?
So for like the initial idea has been around for quite a while. I would say probably since 2016 when I joined the Meteor community and where I first came to Meteor Camp in New York City at the UN, which Alim hosted. So, and my background even before that was that I have been hosting multiple conventions, especially around anime and also around creative writing. That were my StoryCon original conventions. So I had the experience, the know-how, to kind of get these things running, and especially later on as I started attending more technical conferences, that's where I really wanted to do one for Meteor, just because of how much fun and interesting interest there is in these conferences. So that was how it started, but it took me until 2020, and that was because we were kind of waiting, especially especially after 2016, for there to be an official one, and just heard like kind of rumors. I was like, okay, so they're going to do something official one, and I didn't really care until, of course, we had the change of hands when Tiny acquired MDG and became Meteor Software. And Meteor Software was just too busy with other things to really handle the conference. So. And around 2019, 2020, that's where also Meteor Community Packages initiative came through, and there was big momentum, a lot of interest. So I said, okay, let's do this. I think in 2020, we've decided it probably around this time. I decided, okay, let's do this, or maybe even a few weeks later in the summer. And said, okay, let's do this. I'm not sure if it was September or October, or no, sorry, it was I think it was in September, and then we did it in October as part of Oktoberfest. So so that's how it got. So it was like very, very quick, but there was a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of interest. So it was easy. And I always say, give me the speakers, and I can prepare for your convention in a couple of weeks.
And you got some really great ones. We'll talk about them later, but you got some really good folks to show up for that one and give talks about it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we had been promised after we did Meteor Camp that there would be an official, we talked about doing Meteor Camp year in, year out, and then we were told by MDG that no, they were going to be doing something official. We didn't want to step on their feet. And then they didn't. They ended up doing something for Apollo. They pivoted and held conferences for that and have been very good about doing that. But we were sort of kept in the background. We still had the meetups for a while, and they were pretty strong for a bit. But I think once Tiny acquired the Meteor assets, then they were down to one employee for a while, right? I mean, it was just Felipe who was running everything. He was running the cloud business, and he was also running the open source and doing code contributions. It was a very, very tough moment for him to try to find the ability to put on a conference. So I guess it had to fall to somebody else, didn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of where we've stepped in, and it was also at that time I was. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out the timeline. Let me quickly check my own LinkedIn and
Yeah.
how long I was with Patable at that time, because
Yeah.
it's been such a while. I don't even remember. It's kind of embarrassing because I was with Patable
Yep.
for a bit. So that was until actually February 2021. So actually during the first conference, I was with Patable, and I've reached out to the CTO. Hey, I would like to use Patable for for the conference.
Right.
And since Patable back then was running on Meteor, they were completely fine to sponsor it like that, and which was great for us because that meant I didn't have to worry about the entire system of the online conferencing and everything, and it was a wonderful system. So we use Patable for that, and that which made it so much easier because otherwise all the other software that's out there for this is super expensive. So
Absolutely,
I would have to charge a lot of money to kind of get it going. So there just was that helped a lot because there was like a feasible path how to make a conference happen and make it happen cheap, which meant we don't have to charge people money to come.
So Impact has now been away for 2 years. What was, why was it put on pause or hiatus or whatever you want to call it?
So there were two reasons. The primary one, the main one, was that Patable shut down. They were gonna merge into the corporation that bought them, and so as an independent service, it was shut down. So that made it suddenly so much more difficult and more expensive to organize a conference. So, and I was also busy with other things, and to kind of manage to move to something else was just not feasible for me at that time and place. So I've decided to take a break, and with hopes that I can come back later.
Yeah. So what's the motivation now as to why you're bringing it back? Again, it's 2 years is quite a bit. It could have just kept on staying in the background.
Yeah. So the first thing is that I have the big blue button deployment with Literary Universe. So, and courtesy of Check Invest, which was part of the technology incubation project we were doing. So we've deployed big blue buttons, set it up properly, everything. And so you can say this is part of the testing of that as well. And kind of win-win situation. This suddenly I have something that I can use that's relatively cheap for me to use for this. So that's suddenly the technical or like this financial and technical barrier vanished, and I was also kind of eager to get something going again. So not a promise that it's going to be next year. That will depend on the success of this year. But I think it's also needed because then that kind of creates the event that everybody is looking forward to the entire year, and that's also where a lot of the announcements can come together. So opportunity arose and I took it.
I think it'd be great if we have an opportunity to do it. I think when we had Impact, we saw so much engagement in the community, and now it's sort of a thing, an annual thing that ties the community together and allows people to come together and put it on their calendar and say, on this one day or on these 2 days, I can find out a lot about what's happening with the platform and with different I can see different implementations. I can hear how people are using it, how they're overcoming problems. So I think I think there is something to be said about keeping it going if we want to see deeper community engagement and more people getting involved. So that, I think, has been a great thing. So thank you for bringing it back. So tell me, like, can you share some of the challenges that it takes to put something like this on? Is it something that you can just swing in a few days before, or does it take a little more runway than that? And then what's involved?
So now that we kind of have to run our own, you could say, platform and everything, it takes much longer. Just this first quarter was just figuring out the platform, figuring out kind of the format and everything. Of course, the date and time and everything. If you remember from the past, it was 2-day event, and the big thing is I always try to cover as many time zones as possible to give everybody an opportunity to be to be able to come live and interact with everybody else. Of course, it's impossible to kind of to satisfy everybody in this, just because of I have to think, okay, from Tokyo to New York or to San Francisco, and I have to kind of then decide on the middle ground. So
that's why you did like 24 hours the first time, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly 24 hours, but it was pretty much really going from early morning till late at night. It's also one of the reasons why I've put in a lot of, you could say, breaks, tea times, all that stuff, so that things can be spread out a little bit more so to allow speakers in different time zones to come online, and other people as well. But I think thanks to that, we've kind of got the traditions of the tea times and of the different breaks where you can interact with everybody else, and that's a lot of that's a big thing that I want to continue, and we shall see how that goes. So so it's a lot of time spending thinking about the date and time and from when to when, especially kind of thinking, okay, which time zones can come. So with me sitting here in Prague, it's actually a good location for this, because I can cover what would be the evening and night in Asia, and then morning in Americas.
Yeah.
And if you are sitting in Europe, you get the prime location. If you wake up early, you can come, and then you can go sleep late with me. So that's once that is done,
right.
The next step, of course, is all the set up the web page, all that stuff, and get speakers, and figure out the schedule. So that's the stage we are right now, kind of in towards the late part of it. It will continue till September, because as is often the case, almost the best talks come last minute. So that's there. And now I'm getting into the part of starting to annoy companies, asking for sponsorships, asking for participation. I have talked with Meteor Software, and we are working on some exciting stuff. So hopefully that will be decided on and ready to go next week or so. And then kind of from that, it's managing kind of the flow, and in between getting the marketing and making sure primarily that everybody knows about it. That's always the issue that I often get. People then come later on and ask me, "Oh, I didn't know that this was happening." So trying to get on people's radar, that is the most difficult aspect.
Well, this is one of the reasons why for the next several weeks, one of the primary thing we're going to be doing in the show is going to be talking about impact and trying to get some excitement behind it and get some ideas, and maybe even get some preview talks done on the show. I think that'd be great. We've done that in the past, where we've done some conferences where we've had meetups and basically had speakers do a preview of what they were going to do at those meetups, so that they could work out what works and what doesn't. And so they have a sharper presentation for the conference. We could do the same thing here if people are interested in that. All right. And so we talked a little bit before about what's different this time around. I don't think we need to get back into that again. Do you have some favorite memories of past sessions and speakers, and what stands out to you and why?
So I think we'll kind of start, Alan, with what you wrote down with your
Yeah.
ones. But before that, what I want to kind of preface is there's a lot of talk, and I kind of separate this into two categories: the in the moment excitement,
Yeah.
and then the long-term remembrance and excitement. And the short-term excitements are the announcements, the new previews of the features that's coming up and everything. So that's usually Meteor software and other companies that kind of do stuff around Meteor, that they come up what's next. But that's kind of transient. That kind of fades away over time. But then there are some standout talks which really come. Can I remember? And when you say that's where it is. So we have, and I kind of want to, maybe now is, I think, good time, Alim, to do the share screen. So just
Sure.
I can show. There is you can kind of look in the past, all of the on Meteor Software YouTube channel. There's a lot of the playlists, but in those there is playlist for Meteor Impact 2020, 2021, and 2022. So you can look at the videos. There are some missing, or like half of them are missing from the 22 Impact. I'll have to look. I'll have to kind of chat with guys where the videos are, because I definitely shared it with them. So we'll have to figure out where those got lost. Gonna go back and kind of go to it. So Alim, let's start with the ones that kind of came up, and the thing is, I mostly agree.
Yeah. So the idea is, look, there were some of them that really stand out. A lot of them are really good, but and we're going to go over. We have another several weeks to go over, so we don't want to go over everything right now, because it's just, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. But I think the things that kind of stood out was, for instance, Scott Talinsky, who runs the syntax.fm channel, did a tremendous amount of work. He's an online educator. He's been on YouTube for a very long time, and he was a huge advocate and user of MeteorJS. His first talk that he did a keynote, I believe, in 2020, called "Why I Love Meteor," which, if you get a chance to go and take a look at again, it's wonderful. I think he also shares some of his misgivings about where Meteor hasn't continued to refresh itself in terms of staying current. But overall, there are a lot of things, I think, really good points that you'll find there, that if you have used Meteor and you have worked with Meteor over the years, it will remind you why it is that you love Meteor. And if it's your first time to Meteor, you'll start to understand a little bit more what it is about it. I think this is one of those topics that could be refreshed, So what are your thoughts on it? Do you remember Scott's keynote?
Yeah, I had a great interaction with him. And it was funny, because one of the things that he then used, because there was like some issue that we had with the talk. I think it was like some starting time or something like that. And it's like, oh, just give me a moment. I went into the admin, made the fix, and he then saw it in real time, just changed for him. And that was something that he also like pointed out. So it was really nice. And I really love about it, kind of gets you, okay, oh yeah, this is it. This is why I love Meteor, even if it has its own quirks like every other language has. And
Yeah. By
given
the
how
way, you should. I don't know if you mentioned it, but you should also point out that Pathable was built on top of Meteor
yeah.
JS, right? So that
Mhm.
was one of the really interesting things that used the real time features in MeteorJS as part of its online capabilities. And so when you said that you made the change to the admin and it happened instantaneously, you're talking about a feature that comes from the platform itself. That Scott also remembered that was one of the things that you
Yeah,
loved about it, right?
exactly. So that's exactly how it was. So, and how Scott has a lot of energy and really know how to um,
Pump up
I
the
say,
crowd. Yeah.
he knows how to say it and be exciting. So something that I'm still really trying to learn and get going. So definitely worth to watch, and I would say it's still current and
Yeah.
interesting.
So for the rest of them, I think we should just kind of mention them really quickly and the people behind them and not spend too much time because I don't want folks falling asleep here. But that same year, 2020, we had Abigail Watson do the state of Meteor geomapping. And geomapping is again one of those very, very niche things. But if you use maps and you use mapping data, then it's really important to understand how it all works out. And so Abby did this. She's a longtime Meteor user. She built the clinical Meteor path or branch of MeteorJS many, many years ago, which has evolved into Fire, which has now evolved into something else. And she's going to be coming back this year, I believe, to tell us what is new in her branch or her expertise of MeteorJS. Um,
Yeah,
and then there was the other one that I think should be refreshed like every year, which was I think you pointed out that Fred, the CEO of Meteor Software, did a talk that's called "Why I Should Use MeteorJS in 2021." Right?
yeah.
I think we need to hear that for 2025. Don't you think? I
Yeah,
mean,
that there was. I kind of want to go back to Abe's talk because one of the
yeah.
things that really got people wild. I remember this watching the chat, and everybody went wild because she mentioned the
Mhm.
original examples that were
Yes.
used with Meteor back. Back then it was 5 years or 6 years, and today's 10 years. And a lot of people remember that was like the aha
Yeah.
moment, that excitement of how easy it was to do things that you came along was a freaking nightmare to even attempt.
Yeah.
So
And
that
still
just
is in a
I
lot of
remember
ways.
to this day it
Yeah.
was beautiful.
And in a lot of ways, it still is. I think the data sets that she was using, by the way, when she did her talk, were the COVID data sets. So we were in the height of COVID at that
Yeah,
point. So that was very interesting, real time and real use of that clinical information, um, epidemiology information at the time for a Meteor application. So and then the last one that I want to bring up here is the productivity hacks with Charm Stack that Gabriel Gruba, who is on the open source team at Meteor Software, did, and they came up with this thing called the Charm Stack, which included Chakra, um, React, and MongoDB at the back end. And
yeah,
there's some other things that are there, but Charm, that's kind of like where it comes from. And I have not seen, now this is one of those things which was exciting at the time, and then I haven't seen very much talked about. I haven't seen it promoted. I haven't seen anything going on there. So I think, again, it's one of those things where if this was a really good solution going forward, you know, could we hear more about it? Could we hear more about examples of where it's being used? Otherwise, has it fallen by the wayside? Is it one of those, you know, as we've talked about, this plethora of different frameworks that show up and are very fashionable in the moment, but then don't really have any staying power. So again, These talks run the gamut of things that include materials or topics like security and specific implementations that are very evergreen, and then other things that are, people are trying things, it's exciting, and now the question is, does it have widespread adoption? All right. So what having said all of that, like, what are you expecting? What's exciting you about this year that you hope to see, hope to hear from, people, topics?
Well, besides kind of, I think there's a lot of inspiration that people can take and refresh some of the old talks.
Sure.
And besides, all of these refresher announcements, and kind of introductory or kind of also talking about more advanced topics, I'm also looking forward to hopefully see some panels and like you did here with the Enterprise Meteor panel back in the day. I'm looking to kind of hope that you will be able to organize an AI panel.
That'd be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah.
So kind of, I'm expecting to see quite a few talks about AI, and I think that's kind of, given the times, more than appropriate. I would be kind of surprised and maybe a bit disappointed if nobody came up with an AI talk. So for certain, definitely an AI talk. And I'm hoping that we'll see some people that were more active in the community in the past come with some talk and kind of explain what they were working on in the background, because I know from my own experience that it's very easy to disappear working on specific tasks and just focus on that. So those are kind of the main topics that I'm looking to see, and I will have just during this, and I should probably write it down before I forgot. I had just got a idea for another talk that I absolutely have to do, because that's something that. Okay, and we have with this, we'll have an extra talk at Impact.
There we go. Hang on.
So yeah, there is a lot of opportunities.
I'm looking forward to people like, well, first of all, Abby coming back. That would be awesome to hear her. Radekmi, right? Radislav. Yeah, exactly.
He will be. He has a talk already, so he's already there.
I'd love to see John Morrow, because he's just been putting so many packages out there. I really want him to share what motivates him to contribute, and then of course maybe even do a workshop on implementing his packages within a Meteor application. I think that would be pretty awesome. So those are some people that I would like to see. I'm old, so like my brain doesn't always remember all the names that I probably should. But those are some people I would like to see. I'd like to see more than that, though. Others that have been contributing over the last couple of years. People that have been building applications in the background that might seem boring, but really, enhance productivity of the businesses that they work with, whether it's their own or otherwise, right? Mm-hmm. So I would love to see more and more of that. I would love to see, talks and demos on applications that are used front-facing, customer-facing, whether it's an e-commerce app, because I don't think we see enough of those, examples of them. I know that we've seen, different marketplaces out there, and I love marketplaces. So I would love to see more marketplace-based applications, because I think that's one of those really great cases for MeteorJS. There is a group in, I think, Switzerland that a few years back had created an application for, it was either venture capital or private equity. I would love to reach out to them and see if they would be willing to. They don't necessarily have to show us their app, but they probably have a demo that they could show, and be happy to to see that as part of this also, because it's really exciting to see like these real examples of how businesses are using them to do things. And then of course we've had educational platforms in the past that are built on MeteorJS, and again, I think it's one of those great tools for that, and I would love to see some examples of that. And finally, one of the things I would love to see is somebody do a real presentation on how to architect a scalable app of some kind that uses MeteorJS as part of it. You know, how do you decompose the parts and, you know, and hook them all together? How do you make sure that MeteorJS can handle, you know, a heavy load of incoming traffic? I think, you know, if we can get somebody to come in and diagram that and as an example of some real working experience that they have, I think that would go a long way to inspiring confidence that you can build any level of application with MeteorJS. So that's kind of what I would like to see and what excites me too in this. So Jan, do we have a page or something that you could show people on how they can stay informed?
Let me share that screen as well.
Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't ask people to like the channel. Like the episode, guys. If this has been very helpful to you and inspiring, please like the channel. Like the episode. I'm sorry, not the channel. But we're going to talk about channel stuff in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so if you can share the screen, I'll gonna get the so impact.meteorjs.community. That's the website you want to go to. When you go there, this is what you will be met with. If you go to sign up, you have after the countdown, you have there's the iframe for the Luma event, Meteor Impact. So you can sign up. It's for free, but if you donate something, that would be very much appreciated and help. And then you can sign up here for updates. And you know, just your email is required. Anything else is an extra that kind of helps me to place you. And that will then I will be then sending your emails about the updates and all the news coming in. Once you click on Submit Talk, you get this long form with all the details that's needed. If you are submitting, say, multiple talks, things like, you know, the section about you, you can just either copy paste or just, you know, fill it out once, and that's enough, and I will then get it, and then you can just, you know, say already filled and whatnot. And down here, you know, all the additional information. I'm hoping that we'll have enough donations and sponsorships so we can provide more benefits to the speakers. So that's the overall quick information. I'll have more coming up on the website this weekend when I'll sit down and put things in. So we have some initial schedule information. So we have here, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. Again, there is going to be at least 2 more this weekend. You can see already there is my tea time at 5. We'll have probably a bit more of these. And then on day 2, you can see deep dive into MeteorJS accounts, which will soon have a sign up link with a price. So still waiting to kind of announce them together with everything else. And as you can also see, the big thing is it shows you where it's, you know, what level it is, if it's beginner or intermediate or expert. So you can also kind of see which talks are for, you know, are for people. So based on your level.
Sure. So again, I don't remember if you had said that, but did you say a start time and an end time?
So at this point, well, it will be on Thursday, September 25th. It will be starting at 8 a.m. Central European time. If you go to the page, it should adjust to your own time zone. So that will be there, and then it will be ending around 9:15 or 9:30 p.m. Central European time. Plus, we'll probably add here an after party or something as well. Just
so in my case, because we are 6 hours earlier, that would start at 2 a.m. Eastern time, and then it would end about 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. If I'm following.
That sounds about right. Yeah, 2 a.m.
Okay. All right. And for the speakers, are all their talks going to be live, or will you allow for pre-recorded talks like you did during some of the earlier ones?
So I'll have to look into the pre-recorded. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Right now, all the talks will have to be live. It also is better for everybody that people can interact.
Sure.
But I will look into that option. That was one of the benefits of Pathable, which is a complete platform, as opposed to just kind of trying to run it on our own, and
right.
It's not easy. That's why all these services are super expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. That is awesome. Thank you. So let's get this back to where it was before. All right, there we go. Okay, so folks, thank you for joining us today, and we're not done yet. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. We'd love to have you as a member of the community. And Jan, I think we're going to wrap up. So you've got some wrap-up stuff to do, right? You're just going to roll this up together. There are two things.
Yes. So reminder, Meteor Impact is coming. Sign up. Send your talks. If your company is interested in sponsoring, or definitely send me an email. All the contact information is available on there. And we should definitely talk if you're using Meteor at work, you should definitely talk to your boss about sponsoring this, have a watch party, and being part of the conference. So definitely don't forget. And second reminder, there is, as there used to be in the past, that kind of went together with the conference, is the Meteor Community Survey. Let me quickly move here, and there we go.
Have you announced it on the forums?
Yes, that's exactly what I am right now screen sharing. Let me send you also the link so you can set it in the chat. So Meteor Community Survey is, as it says, it's a community survey. So I'll ask you questions about you, about how you use MeteorJS, what you would like to see in MeteorJS and the community packages, and a few other things. This year around, it was inspired heavily by the Node.js community survey. So that's kind of where it goes. And then at Impact, I will show the preliminary or kind of like the summarized data and discuss it. And after the conference, I will clean it up so there are no personally identifiable data in there, like emails or names or anything like that. And I will release the raw data set to everybody. So that's how it goes. So it will be open until September 21st. So at least I have a few days to get things sorted out. So please do fill this out. It kind of also gives a general idea about the size of the engaged community.
Awesome. All right. Am I taking that off the screen here?
Yep.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to say, hey, folks, thanks for joining us this week, and we will see you next week. And I've just got to drop something into the chat before we leave. And there we go. And that's it, guys. Thanks again. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Cheers.